Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the words of Rabbi Wolbe in our quest of Emunah as he begins describing in greater detail the tremendous closeness and the elevated levels of what it means to be part of Klal Yisroel, the Jewish people. And he writes the following: Echad Yesodus HaGedolim Shel Rabbeinu Yehuda HaLevi Zatzal B'Sefer Kuzari. There was a very famous sefer, a book called the Kuzari, written by Rabbi Yehuda HaLevi, and in there he describes the entire essence of the Jewish people, of Hashem, of the Torah. And one of his famous ideas in that book is called Ha'inyan Ha'eloki, the concept of godliness. And what does that mean? Yadua Sha'ilam Kola Arba Sugei Nivroim. It's known that the world contains 4 different types of creations. Daimim, inanimate objects like a rock, Tzaimeach, plant life, tree life, those things that grow, Chai, which are animals, live animals, Umedaber, and the 4th level of creation is Medaber, is someone who speaks, a human being. Umaisiv Rabbeinu Yehuda HaLevi, but the Kuzari adds one last level of creation. And that, he says, is Yehudi, Klal Yisroel, that's the Jewish people. On top of the regular Medaber, the regular human being, is another entity altogether, and that's called a Jew. Yesh lahavin she'ahevdel bein kol sug lemishneheu eino rak b'tzuraso oy b'tchunoso. We have to understand that each one of these different levels of creation that we're discussing over here is not just that in the way that they look or the way that they are comprised is different than the one that is below it. Mahus acheres legamri. In reality, it's a completely different entity and reality altogether. Ledugma, for example, he explains, we know that if you look at a plant, so what's so unique about a plant? It has what's called the koyach hatzmicha. It has the ability to grow. You take a seed, you put it into the ground, you water it, and suddenly from nothing comes a beautiful flower, a beautiful tree, a gigantic redwood if you would like to see it. That's the koyach hatzmicha, the ability to grow. In this way, it's completely different than an inanimate object, which is the lowest level of creation. An inanimate object doesn't do anything, it sits there. The tzmicha, that which is the plant life, has the ability to grow. So it doesn't just look differently or act differently, it's completely different in its nature altogether. So in that respect, all the different levels of creation that the Kuzari is talking about, the higher up it is, it's completely different than that which is below it, and you'll think about all of these 4 different things. But on top of it all is Klal Yisroel, which means al derech zeh yesh lahavin. Therefore, we have to understand this added category called Klal Yisroel, which we are talking about, hu mitzius acheres v'sheine b'mahusei mishar amedabrim. That means that a Jew, in his mitzius, in his essence, in who he is, in what he is, and what it means to be part of Klal Yisroel, it's completely different than the medabrim, than the human life which is below it. Now, we're going to have to get into this in a much deeper level, because chas v'shalom, God forbid, we're not talking about being haughty over here. This is not holier than thou syndrome. It's not that we're looking down on the rest of the world. Just like a plant doesn't look down on a rock, and a chai, an animal, doesn't look down on a plant, and a human being has no reason at all to look down on a dog or on an elephant or on any other type of animal. That's the way in which the world was created. There's levels of hierarchy in creation. So too, as we're going to learn, the highest level of creation is Klal Yisroel, is the Jewish people. Not that Khalila we're looking down on the rest of creation. Rather, we have to recognize the greatness that there is inside of ourselves in order to appreciate our position in this world so that we can fulfill our responsibilities in the gift of life that HaKadosh Baruch has given to us. We're going to discuss this more in depth in the up and coming days. From everybody here at Makar Chaim, I'm wishing you a wonderful day.